I thought it would be a kind of a funny and cool thing to show you guys in this vlog, this old apartment that I have listed for sale. And I want to pick on it a little bit, but then also kind of appreciate some things from the past, because a lot of the old apartments here in Miami, they get completely gutted and completely renovated, and that's probably what's going to end up happening to this unit once it's sold, which I am selling it, so if you're interested in buying it, the link to the listing is down in the description of this video. However, this unit was built in 1991, and everything here is in original condition all the way from back then. So everything you're about to see in this video is basically a time capsule and a moment in time from back in 1991. Just like this table and chairs. Have you ever seen anything like this? We got this wallpaper all over the entire unit. We got this old chandelier here. You just don't see styles like that anymore, that's for sure. Let's check out this bedroom. Look at this. Have you ever seen a TV like this? You young ones out there, I guarantee you haven't seen this TV. Look at this, man. You see that? Static. Yeah, it's working, believe it or not. That's how you know. What else we got in here? Anybody ever seen this? Hello? Yeah, that's actually a phone. Can you believe we used to make calls on stuff like this? We actually had a phone like this at my house back when I was a kid. And look at these beds, look at this furniture. You can tell this stuff is super old. And I just think it's amazing to walk into a place like this and see everything the way it was. What is that? Almost 30 years ago now. So that's pretty crazy, man. You see all the wallpaper up here. That was like the style back then, you know? All this is wallpaper, this isn't paint. I mean, I kind of feel bad for whoever ends up having to renovate it because they really got the work cut out for them, but that's part of getting a good deal on a unit. Classic 90s sofas here. They actually are surprisingly comfortable. If you sit in this sofa, even today, it's still pretty comfortable, man. I can't believe how comfortable it is after probably how many asses have sat on this couch over the years, you know? And look at this. We got classic books underneath this table that are all about Los Angeles, California and Miami. And they both have an inch thick of dust on them, and they look like they're actually from 1991. And this book is actually in pristine condition. And just by looking at the pictures of Miami in here, you can see that how old this book really is. I mean, nothing in here is really new. So, yeah, it's a blast from the past for sure. Let's check out the kitchen. See what kind of surprises we got in there. Actually, the kitchen's not too bad. You know, the funny thing about the kitchen is actually this right here. When I first saw one of these, I was like, what the hell is this thing, you know? This is actually a stove and a microwave combo. I guess this was very common back in the day. I'd never had anything like this at my house growing up, but this seems like something they had a lot here in Miami because I've seen a lot of old apartments here with this. And look at this old spice rack. We actually had probably the same one or something really close to this when I was growing up in my house in Illinois. And I don't think I've seen one of those since then. And we're talking probably since the early 90s, around the same time period. And let's get a close shot on this, Lizzie. Look at that. These spices are probably actually from 1991. No joke. I guarantee you no one's ever even used this. They're supposed to be bay leaves, and it looks like leaves you would rake up from your yard. I mean, everything in here is like brown and dead. You can't even tell what's what anymore. So that's how you can tell this is a time capsule. Alright, let's check out the bedroom. Master bedroom. Ta-da! This is where the magic happens. That's what they used to say on MTV Cribs, you know? This is where the magic happens, man. I actually like that they have the sofa in here. It's kind of nice to have that when you're in the bedroom and you don't want to lay on the bed, but you maybe want to get some quiet time and read. This is actually a cool spot to do that. I like that. And The decoration stays completely the same as the rest of the unit. You know, you got this classic old furniture here, all the wallpaper's still here, but the best thing about this unit is obviously that view. So this is why you buy a unit like this and gut it and remodel it. So in case you're wondering, the price is $399,000 and not a dollar less, guys. Don't send me an offer for less, because we're not gonna sell it for less. So I didn't really want to give you a full tour of the unit. If you want to see that, you can see that by checking out the listing. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of what it's like to actually see a unit like this from back in 1991, because it still looks the same as it did back in 1991 all the way today in 2020. So it's kind of cool to reminisce and see things from the past like this and just enjoy it for what it is, because pretty soon this is probably going to be gone, and one day it'll just be a thing of the past and will only live on in the pictures and in this video. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to just talk about this topic for a minute. It's not a happy topic for me to discuss, but since I'm being very real and honest with you guys, I wanted to let you know that recently I had to post a 3-day notice on one of my tenants' doors and begin the eviction process. And as much as that sucks, unfortunately, it's the only way forward with this property. This tenant has actually been very problematic for me, and he has requested numerous things to be fixed in the property over and over and over again, and he's just one single guy living in the place. And on top of that, he has been late on his rent for a long time, let's just put it like that. And it's just been one drama after another with this guy. And basically what it comes down to is, I think he's just in over his head. He's living in a place he can't really afford for the lifestyle that he wants to live. And also he has been in and out of work because he's had problems with his job, and he was very irresponsible and was in an accident and things like that. The thing is that eviction is always the last resort, okay? You never want to evict somebody as a landlord, but when somebody is behind a couple of months on rent and there's no clear picture that they're going to catch up, then unfortunately that's what you have to do as a landlord. So I wanted to just talk about this for a minute, because a lot of people think that being in real estate and having investment properties is passive income and you don't have to do anything once you buy the place, and that really couldn't be further from the truth, okay? I've had to do a lot of different things for the properties that we own, and we only own a couple of places, and it's been a lot more work than I ever thought it was going to be. And I know having some property managers involved could help me out, and I'm considering hiring one at this point, because now that I'm trying to put all of my effort into these videos, I don't want to really be bothered with that stuff anymore, and I just don't have the time to be dealing with all the issues that come up. But part of the biggest problem with this particular property is that we just have a bad tenant, and honestly, I can't wait for him to be gone. I kind of feel bad saying that here and telling you guys and spilling the beans about that, but it's just true. You know, when somebody causes you headache after headache, they're not paying the rent, and they have the balls to complain about stuff on top of that, then that's when it's time to get them out. So luckily, it looks like he's probably going to leave on his own, and I don't actually have to evict him, but I definitely will if necessary. I have a lawyer, I've retained a lawyer, they've actually started the eviction process, and I have no problem moving forward with it if he doesn't leave the property by the date he agreed he was going to leave. Yeah, that's something that kind of sucks about being a landlord, but it's just a word of caution. If you're going to move to Florida and be a landlord here, just know that sometimes you have to do something very hard, and out of all the years I've been in business for myself, working as a real estate agent and then owning my own properties like this, I have to say this is probably one of the toughest things I've ever had to do, and I wish I didn't have to do it. But you have to realize that when it comes down to circumstances like this, you really have no other choice, and you just need to do it for your own sake as a landlord, so you don't lose a ton of money on your property. That kind of defeats the whole point of buying an investment property to begin with. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you guys, because it sucks. It does suck. But I hope that it can be resolved peacefully and sooner than later. And if you guys care at all, I'll give you an update in a later vlog, but I just figured I'd mention it in this one. So the other day, I was on one of my late night walks like I typically do here on the Miami Beach boardwalk, and it started downpouring outside, and I thought it would be a good time for me to capture how bad some of the flooding gets here, because for whatever reason on that day the flooding got pretty bad, which you'll see in my shots here. And what ended up happening was I used my phone to film all of this footage that you're seeing, and that was a mistake. They advertised that the iPhone 10 is water resistant or waterproof up to a certain amount or whatever, but I guess that doesn't apply to pouring rain, which is a surprise because it's supposed to be able to go underwater and still survive it no problem. And the phone never even went underwater, it was just out in the rain, so I figured that I would be okay and the phone would be alright. And what ended up happening was the phone was not alright. Look at this, look how my lenses ended up on the back, and out of all things to get messed up on the phone, it ended up being the camera, of course. And in case you don't know, I shoot all of my YouTube videos on my iPhone 10. I don't have a different camera. This is the only camera I use. I don't use a professional camera, and I actually really love shooting just on the iPhone because the quality is very good and it's just one and done. You just press the button and it records, and just the thought of trying to learn how to use one of those fancy cameras it's a huge obstacle in my mind. I don't really want to do that. Maybe one day I will, we'll see, I don't know. But my plan is just to buy the next iPhone that comes out in order to keep up with the best picture quality that I can, because I'm sure that whatever comes out next is probably going to be better than this. And I usually upgrade the phone every 3 or 4 years when they have something really cool and really new to get. So I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen this year, because I would like to always improve my video quality for you guys. So I got this water in the camera on the phone, and I was like, what do I do? The camera seemed to be like totally ruined. You can see like the images I took here with the camera after I saw that it had water damage in there, and I thought for sure it was going to be a goner. But then the other day when we were at the beach, Lizzie was like, why don't you just leave the camera facing the sun directly and see if it'll evaporate? And it ended up being a very good idea, because that's exactly what happened. Most of it actually evaporated. I still can see a little bit of something inside the camera, but for some reason it's not showing up on the picture, because I've been shooting all the videos on this still, and as you can see, there's no issues. So the whole point of this segment of the video is to just teach you guys, if this ever happens to you, if you get water inside the lens of your iPhone, try letting it sit out in the sun for a few hours first before bringing it to Apple to get it repaired or whatever, because that's what I was going to do, and they told me if it was just the camera it would cost $80. If it was more damage than just the camera, it would be like $500. So that's a pretty big difference, and I saved myself quite a bit of money just by having a little bit of patience and trying to dry it out in the sun first, and it looks like it totally worked. And that's my advice to you on this part of the vlog. But man, talk about a good deed never going unpunished, huh? I was trying to get some cool shots for you guys and show you what it was like here in the rain and with the flooding, and then my phone ends up getting screwed up, which just happens to be my camera too. If you guys enjoyed hanging out with me, I got some more videos for you to check out right over here, and I'll see you guys over there in that next video.